And I think this is the one that's gonna get me dragged. Hi, hello, hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm your unproductive bestie, and today I wanted to talk about my favorite and least favorite celebrity looks of 2023. Okay, first we're gonna talk about how this video is going to work, and then we're gonna get into the disclaimers. So for this video, I chose 3 celebrities. Originally it was 4, but I'm taking one out. But it's gonna be 3 celebrities, and I'm gonna talk about 3 of my favorite looks from them, and then 2 of my least favorite looks, and the alternative I would provide for the event they were going to. Now, here are the disclaimers. 1, I do not have a degree in fashion journalism. I don't have any degree or anything in styling. I'm just a girl who likes pretty clothes. That's really all it is. So don't take my opinion too seriously. 2, there might be some mispronunciation of brand names or certain things. I did look up the pronunciation for some brands, but the way my tongue is set up, yeah. And for some of the brands, there weren't any pronunciation, so I'm just gonna go with how it looks. 3, there's most likely gonna be more disclaimers as we go along because some people get really riled up about their faves, but you have to know that I'm not trying to diss them. I'm just talking about the fashion and the clothing, not them. 4, this video is not going to be completely into depth about like hair, makeup, and shoes. I'm mainly talking about like the actual dress or whatever they're wearing, not completely the hair and whatever. Additionally, I'm sticking to red carpet events. I'm not doing like their everyday wear. And lastly, I will be looking down because I have the images here on my laptop. But let's get into it. First off, we have Halle Bailey, the Little Mermaid. And for her first look that I really enjoyed, she's wearing Valdrin Sohee, and she wore it to the premiere for the Little Mermaid. I think this dress is absolutely stunning. I don't know exactly what this fabric is. I don't want to say it's metallic, but it's giving very reflective. It reminds me of ice and water. I love the shells. I don't know what that is at the top, but I love it because it reminds me of like aquatic plants and aquatic like sea life. As you can tell, I don't know too much about the sea. And I love that she's wearing simple, strappy silver heels with this. Also, the girls were sitting. Sorry, but they sat so well. She looked amazing. And this is probably my favorite dress of hers for the Little Mermaid premiere. So now we're at one of my least favorite looks for Halle, and she's wearing custom off-white at another Little Mermaid premiere, but I think this one was in Australia. I do not like this dress at all. I really feel like it was poorly constructed. Here I go, who doesn't have a degree in design or anything, but just looking at the top, I'm not a fan of how it looks. It kind of gives cardboard with fabric over it. I'm also not a fan of the pearls and diamonds or whatever that is across the waist area. I don't know, I just don't like this dress. I feel like it has a lot going on, but also so little at the same time. So I actually have 4 alternatives, and I want you guys to let me know which of the alternatives that you like, or you could say you don't like any of them, that's fine. But the first alternative is this Silver the Lane Fall 2022 bridal look. I think this is so classic, so simple, so beautiful. And the reason I'm going with something simple is because I feel like a lot of people didn't really pay attention to the Australian premiere. And I'm not sure if the whole entire cast was even there for that one. Maybe they were and it just wasn't shown, but it really wasn't like one of the more hyped premieres. So I think she could have gone with something a bit more simple. Additionally, for this dress, I love the detail at the top. I don't know what it is, but it does give aquatic and sea life, and it's very subtle, very simple. And on the back, it's backless, and it has this fin-like detail. I think the color of the dress is very simple, so when you have those 3 details of it being backless and that fin at the back, and well, I think it's a ruffle, the ruffle at the back, and the top hem, I think all of that together makes for a fun but still mature dress. So that's alternative number 1. For alternative number 2, we have this Maria Lucia Hohan scalloped dress. I love this dress, but the only thing that holds me back from loving it fully is the fact that it's calf or ankle length. I love the detail going from the hip up. I think it's absolutely stunning. And then you have this addition of a train, but it's a different fabric from the rest of the dress. I just think it reminds me very much so of a mermaid. Once again, it's a dress that has a lot of different elements and different fabrics and styles to it, but because the color of it is very simple, it works. But if those first two dresses were too simple for you, I do have two other dresses that are a bit more colorful or a bit more fun. The third alternative is this Valdrin Sohee Resort 2023 dress. I adore the way this dress drapes. It kind of reminds me of that wet fabric look, but it has more of a shine and crystals to it, which differentiates it from the other brands that were doing that wet look. I also like the ombre effect on the dress, how it goes from a lighter blue to a more dark and murky color on the train of the dress, and that really reminds me of a waterfall. So that could have been another option that's more colorful and has more going on while still being really simple. Okay, so the last alternative is my favorite one. And the reason I think it's my favorite one is because I think I really wanted a look from the Little Mermaid premiere that was more dark, and that was more so an ode to either Halle's vocals or to the original source material for the Little Mermaid. So I wanted them to give us something that gave Siren, because Halle has an extremely hypnotic voice. So I wanted them to either go that route for at least one dress, or to go towards the route of, I think in the original, she falls into the water and turns into sea foam or something like that because she wasn't able to kiss the prince or something like that. I don't completely know, but I just know that the original one is really sad and it has something to do with sea foam. So that being said, I really did want a darker look. So that's where this Alexander McQueen Spring Summer 2003 oyster dress comes in. I love this dress. There's only two that have ever been made. One that was on the runway and is currently being held at the Met. And then the second one was, I think, recreated. Kanye gifted it to Kim and she wore it to the 2020 Oscars after party or something like that. I think the details on this dress are absolutely stunning, and there's like a story behind it. Let me actually read the meaning of the oyster dress. So the oyster dress is the hard shell that the woman washed ashore in, and she herself represents the pearl and good fortune to come. The woman transforms from a victim to a warrior born of a shell. Come on, Little Mermaid! Do you see it? Because I kind of see it. So basically, per their interpretation, the dress is basically an oyster and the person wearing it is the pearl. But you can have a different interpretation of it. Like for me, when I saw the dress and then I thought about it in connection to the Little Mermaid, what I was thinking of was when she jumps off the boat and becomes sea foam in the like source material. Do you see where I'm getting at? So you can have different interpretations of this dress and how you see it in connection to the Little Mermaid. So I feel like it would have been a really good opportunity for them to have a darker look for Halle. So out of the four alternatives, let me know which one you prefer, or if you even prefer the actual custom off-white dress itself. Just let me know which one is your favorite, or if you hate all of them. You know, it's okay. It's okay if you hate all of them. Back onto the positives, here's my second favorite look from Halle, and it's this Gucci halter gown and cape that she wore at the Met Gala. The theme was Karl Lagerfeld, so I don't know how much she's meeting the theme because I don't know too much about Karl's work. I know about his work at Chanel, but I know he's also done more things outside of Chanel, like his own brand or Fendi and other brands and stuff like that. But all I know is that Miss Halle Bailey ate. She ate this up. For one, I love the mixture of materials here. We have these iridescent sequins and then some lace. I don't know why, but just seeing the detail and how they overlap, it doesn't seem clunky, it doesn't seem weird. It just looks very nice, very elegant, but it's also very see-through. So I'm just like, I love it. I just love it. And let's not leave out the cape, okay? So you have these ruffles where there's, I don't know if this is glitter on each layer of the ruffles, but regardless, it's gorgeous. It's giving jellyfish, coral reefs. It's giving living at sea. I just think this is stunning. And I think the reason I really like this is because this was before she started her Little Mermaid premiere. So this is her giving us a taste of what we were going to get during the summer when she actually did start her Little Mermaid premiere. And can I just say, in the Black community, every single time we see Halle and Chloe, we are always surprised by their hair. I don't know who their loctician is, but they are doing some crazy work, because how are you gonna have long locks and then all of a sudden now you have these bundles? What's going on? Who's in charge? Because this is amazing. Now we're at the second look of my least favorites from Miss Halle Bailey, and it's this custom Miss Sohee gown. Let me just say, I adore the headpiece. I wish I could have found an alternative that keeps that headpiece because I thought it was stunning. But when it comes to the dress itself, I do not like it at all. For one, I hate the mesh. The mesh does not match her skin tone. Additionally, the details around her hips, I think they do a disservice to her body shape. The scallops or whatever that is around the hips kind of make her straight instead of giving her curves that she does have. I don't know, it doesn't eat. I'm just not a fan of this look at all. So the alternative that I thought of was this Marchesa Spring 2017 ready to wear look. You could think it's a little bit simple, but I think it would have looked amazing against her skin tone. And once again, you have these plants and flowers, which makes me think of like aquatic plants and stuff. Additionally, you have how iridescent the actual dress is, how you see these pinks, these purples, these blues in this dress as she moves. But if you think this dress is too simple, may I suggest once again that McQueen, that Alexander McQueen dress once again. I'm not gonna let that dress go. I think it's stunning. She could have also worn it here if she didn't wear it to the Australia one. You know, if you guys don't like it for the Australia premiere, she could probably wear it to this one. This one was a bit more hype. There was a lot more press for this premiere. But if you don't want the Alexander McQueen and you also don't want this Marchesa option, there's actually another Miss Sohee option. I'm not a fan of this, but I'm just putting it out there in case someone thinks she needs something more extravagant for the premiere. I think she could have made it work, and it does come in pink and blue, so she could have had a choice there. She could have made a choice there. But out of the three options, let me know which one is your favorite, or if you would have stuck to the original custom Miss Sohee gown. But we are back to the favorite looks, and this is the last look for Halle, and it's actually more so a top than an entire look, and it's this Michael Fausto bustier from his chapter 6 collection. You have these mermaids on the straps, these pearls, these red and blue gems. I just think this was beautiful. It might be right on the nose, but it's stunning. If you look at the details of the mermaid, the mermaids are holding shells, which reminds me of that scene where she gets the shell and blows into it. Who else could have worn this? It just makes sense. It makes sense. Next up, we have Jennie Kim. If you're not into K-pop, Jennie is a member of the group Blackpink. So for the first look that I like, she is wearing Shushu Tong Fall Winter 2023, and she was at the Cannes Film Festival photo call. If you don't know, she was part of the cast for The Idol. Yeah, it's questionable, but she was there, period. I like this Shushu Tong dress way more than the dress that she wore to the actual red carpet. At the red carpet, she was wearing a Chanel lace ball gown type of dress. I think the length and the fullness of that Chanel dress didn't do her justice. So when I saw this photo call look, I was like, there we go. That's the perfect alternative. This is how it should have been done. So that's why that Chanel dress is not going to be in the least favorites, because they redeemed themselves with this Shushu Tong dress. I think that T-length dresses tend to look really, really nice on Jennie. You can see that in her 2023 VMA look, in her Blackpink 2022 Welcoming collection, and other looks. I think she does really well with ankle-length dresses. I also love the addition of bows in her hair. Jennie is kind of one of my favorite celebrities when it comes to accessorizing, because I think she does it really well. I feel like a lot of celebrities, most of the time, they kind of forget or they add on jewelry when it's not necessary. And I think her and her stylist have kind of mastered when to add accessories and when to kind of hold back. I know people didn't like this Shushu Tong dress. They thought it was boring, but I think it's kind of a win because her stylist and I guess her tend to avoid putting her in full length gowns. So I think a T-length dress is a win for us, okay? Now we're at one of my least liked looks from Jennie in 2023. And I think this is the one that's gonna get me dragged. Yeah, I'm so not ready to get dragged over this because there was a lot going on when she popped on the red carpet wearing this. People were arguing and fighting and stuff. Look, don't drag me. Don't drag me, okay? I don't have it out for her. For this first least liked look, we have Jennie at the Met Gala wearing Chanel Fall Winter 1990. But I think this dress gives junior prom. It gives homecoming. It gives Easter Sunday. Like, if I look at one of my little nieces, I'd be like, yes, I would put them in that. I was just not a fan of this. I absolutely do not blame Jennie or her stylist for this. I doubt the stylist had the ability to tell Chanel what they wanted because I'm pretty sure, but please do correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that Jennie was there on behalf of Chanel. If you don't know, Jennie is a Chanel ambassador, so I'm pretty sure they sent her to the Met Gala to represent them. So she probably didn't have a say in what she wanted to wear, and neither did her stylist. So when it comes to the alternatives, the factors here is that she has to be wearing Chanel because she's a Chanel ambassador, and the look has to be from a Carl collection because Carl was the theme. That being said, finding workable alternatives was extremely hard, and I'll explain why as I go along, but there are 5 valid alternatives and 2 invalid alternatives. The alternatives are gonna go from my least favorite to my most favorites. So for the first alternative, we have this spring summer 1999 set or 2-piece. The reason I chose this is because 1, it's a different color. Everyone at the Met was wearing black and white, which yeah, we get it. Carl was also always usually wearing black and white, but he also created things that had color, such as this dress. So she could have gone with a more colorful dress and kind of stuck out. And it's a little bit more extravagant than the dress that she was wearing. And I think it low-key could have been iconic because she ended up taking a picture with Devin Aoki. I think it would have been iconic to be like, yo, she's wearing Devin Aoki's dress and taking a picture with Devin Aoki. The reason this dress is in my least favorite area is because it gives more editorial, more photo shoot and magazine than it does red carpet, but that was alternative number 1. The second alternative is another pink dress, but it's a lighter and dustier pink, and it's from the spring summer 2003 collection, and it's a drop waist gown, which reminds me of like the 1920s. And I feel like Jennie tends to look really nice. She looks nice all the time, but I really like when she does like retro or old Hollywood glam hair and makeup. So I think this could have been an opportunity to do that. But once again, I'm not a fan of this dress, mainly because of the skirt portion. I feel like if it was just like straight down, just a long gown, it would have worked. But do you see why it was so hard? You see the options that I'm pulling out? Yeah, it was kind of hard at first. So the next 2 are the invalid options. I was watching Jennie's Get Ready With Me for the Met Gala vlog on her channel, and she said that she wanted a look that she could look back on in 10 years and not regret. So I was like, okay, so that adds another factor. So it has to be Chanel, it has to be Carl, and it has to be something she won't regret, something that's timeless, which led me to these 2 options, which ended up being invalid because they were not made by Carl. One of the options is a bridal dress, and it's still short like the one that she has at the actual Met, but there's a more mature air with this option. I think it could have been better, but it wasn't made by Carl, so kind of got to kick it to the curb. Now we're at the last 3 options, which are my more favorite options, and they are valid options. So the first one is this black dress from the Couture Spring Summer 1993 show. It has movement, it has a lot of draping and layers without being overwhelming. I think this could have worked. I think it is simple, but the layers is what adds the extravagance and the dramatic effect to the dress. I think it's a dress that she could have looked back on and been like, yeah, this was cute, this was nice, you know, timeless. The next dress is from the Couture Spring Summer 1992 show. I love this option. I don't know why, but just imagining Jennie in it, I just think it would work really well. The only thing is I would definitely remove the necklace, and I would remove the brooch that's on the waist or hip area, and instead of that brooch, I would probably put the camellia flower, just like the original dress that she's wearing that has a camellia flower. I would probably plop that onto that dress. I love the details on the gloves, like the feathers there. I don't know, I think this is the perfect amount of drama. It's black and white, so it kind of like simplifies it and calms it down, while you have these other details and how big it is that adds to the dress. I think it would have been nice. The last alternative for her matte look is one that isn't vintage, and it's Chanel's bridal dress from their Couture Fall 2017 collection. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with this dress, and I think it would have looked amazing on Jennie and would not have swallowed her up if they alter it correctly. It would have to fall just right to not look too big and too wide on her, but I think this would have been perfect. Stick with me here, stick with me here. You're probably looking at this like, girl, I'm not too sure about it, but stick with me. So imagine this on Jennie, right? And for her hairstyle, she has a traditional Korean updo or a traditional Korean braid. In her original Met Gala look, she has a traditional Korean braided headband, and she added the Chanel camellia flower to that headband, because in her video she talked about how she wanted something to connect to her roots or something like that, something about showing Korean heritage in her look. And so I feel like she could have done that with this bridal dress. And you keep the flowers, that so you see the flowers that this model has on, keep that around the base of whatever hairstyle you would decide to do. As for shoes, I'm not too sure about what shoes she could have worn, but I think they need to stick to like pointed toe stilettos for this dress specifically. No toes out and no pumps. Maybe toes. I'm not sure. But overall, I think this is my favorite alternative. So you guys let me know, between the 7 that I gave, the 5 valid alternative and the 2 invalid alternatives, which one is your favorite? Or do you hate all of them? It's okay if you hate all of them. Or do you prefer what she wore to the Met Gala? Let me know. The second favorite look from Jennie this year for me is one that she wore to the Idol Kane's premiere after party. So she's wearing this tweed top and this skirt. Both are from Chanel, and she has these heels on from Jimmy Choo. I think this is fun. It's sexy, but still simple and relaxed. I think it's a great after party look. She was able to dance in it and she still looked good. It was dark, but it was still romantic. Now we are at the last least favorite look of mine for Jennie, and it's this Alex Perry dress with these Amina Muaddi heels. I'm not a fan of this dress at all. I think the heels are a bit too much, and the dress itself is also a bit too much. She tends to wear a lot of pumps because she is shorter, so it makes sense, but the shape and point of these ones are a no to me. Or if she had wore those heels, it would have to be with a more simpler dress, because a lot is going on here. As for the dress itself,
be nice, I'm finding it.
I have to say this correctly. But it kind of reminds me of 2016 Fashion Nova. I feel like this is a dress that would have been popular in that era. It probably is a dress that did exist in Fashion Nova. I'm not a fan of the back, especially the slit in the back. It's just not sitting right in my spirit. It's not sitting right in my spirit. This isn't to say that ruching is outdated, because recently I think Schiaparelli released like a ruched dress as well, and it's stunning. Rihanna wore it and it looked amazing. So ruched dresses are not outdated at all, but this one, it's a no for me. Let's just get into the alternatives. So I have 2 alternatives for this look. One, she could have worn this blue marine spring 2024 ready to wear dress. I think it's a good alternative. Plus, it's still ruched. You know, if she wanted something tight and body fitting and ruched, this blue marine one, it's still the same thing. It's just that it's a lot more tastefully done, in my opinion. And the next option is this bandaged halter dress from Alaya. The length is similar to the dress that she wore to the actual event, but instead of ruching, we have these bandages. I think this dress from Alaya has the perfect amount of drama and sexiness, but also casualness to it, because I think that's what the event was going for. So I think this would have been an even better option for her. But Out of the two options, let me know which one is your favorite, or if you like this Alex Perry dress that she's wearing, let me know. But we're at the last look for Jennie, and it is my last favorite look from her. So for this look, she was wearing like go-go boots and Chanel tights and this shearling set. It's playing off of that short trend. And she added on a belt and a waist chain to it. And she was attending Chanel's Paris Spring Summer 2024 show. I searched for this look up and down and I did not see it on the runway. This lets me know that her and her stylist paired this up and I love it, especially the accessories. And this is what I was talking about when I was talking about how I enjoy the way that Jennie accessorizes. She also has another Chanel look from 2023 that I really like. I'm gonna include pictures of that too. But I love the way that her and her team put together accessories. I think we don't give Jennie enough props for what she's able to do with Chanel, because in my opinion, this is an opinion from someone who has not gone to fashion journalism school or anything like that, but I feel like Chanel hasn't really given us anything that's innovative in a while. They haven't really been eating, so we're kind of seeing the same thing on the runway over and over and over again, and it's getting boring. So I feel like people are very hard on Jennie and her fashion when it's like, yo, she's working with what she has. She's working with what Chanel has to offer. I'm gonna give her a round of applause. I'm gonna give her flowers for that. And I'm so excited to see what she's gonna do with her company. I'm so excited to see what she's gonna do when it comes to fashion, because I feel like she's gonna come out with a fashion line. I'm so excited to see what she does in the fashion industry. But that was Jennie. But we are now at our final and our last celebrity, and it's Marsai Martin. So for the first look from Marsai that I really liked, she was wearing this gorgeous Christian Siriano dress at the NAACP Awards. I think this dress is stunning and it fits impeccably. I love the puffs around the hip and on the shoulders. I love the cutout on the chest. What we need to do is keep an eye out on Marsai, because I feel like she's slowly but surely becoming one of the fashion girlies. But yeah, I'm a super fan of this dress. Absolutely love it. And I love how they did her hair. I think it's perfect. It works really well with the dress. Now we're at the first least favorite liked from Marsai, and she's wearing John Battista Valli, and she was at the Little Mermaid premiere. Now, I actually do not hate this dress. I actually don't think it's bad. I understand it and it makes sense. Like the shoulder parts are like supposed to be like aquatic plants or whatever. It all makes sense and it actually looks good. But the reason why she's up here for this part is because I saw this one dress and I want her to wear it so bad. That's the only reason. The John Battista Valli dress isn't awful. It's just that I just saw this Yogi Pratama dress and I think she would have ate in it. It was giving Siren, and all I could think of was somebody at that premiere, that Little Mermaid premiere, should have been wearing this. But I couldn't see it on Halle. And then I thought about Marsai and I was like, yes, this would have looked great on her, because Marsai has this curvy yet athletic build, so I feel like this would have worked really well on her. But the reason I love this Yogi Pratama dress is because of the headpiece, or like what they have around the head. We've seen a lot of chain dresses and chain tops in 2023 and in 2022, but I just feel like I haven't seen one like this because of the headpiece. But that's the alternative for this Little Mermaid look. Like I said, I don't hate this Little Mermaid look. It's just that I would love to see her in this Yogi Pratama dress. Now we're at the second look of Marsai's, which I really enjoyed, and she was attending Beyonce's Renaissance movie premiere, and she wore a dress by Jean-Louis Sabaji. I think this is stunning. The caging, the hood, the bracelets, it fits so well. I love the shoulder pads. I usually hate shoulder pads. I guess I hate them on myself, but it just added a more vintage look to this dress. I think she looked absolutely stunning, to die for. I think she was best dressed. I could not get over this dress. I think I might just have a thing for hoods. I don't know why, or just like head coverings, but I absolutely love this, adore it. Now we're at the second look from Marsai that is my least favorite, and she was at the Essence Black Women in Hollywood Awards. I could not figure out who she was wearing, but this look kind of gives me church. It gives me First Lady of the church. It once again gives Easter Sunday, and I'm not a fan. I think she's like 18 or 19 or something, and I feel like this ages her in a not good way. It's not giving mature, it's more so giving like auntie. The dress code for the Essence Black Women in Hollywood Awards, I think it's a bit more casual. It's still dressy. It's still very much so dressy, but it is a bit more relaxed. So you might see a few elaborate gowns and trains, but for the most part, people are a bit more dressed down and a bit more comfortable, but they still look very nice. That being said, I would have put her in this Schiaparelli Fall Winter 2023 look, but it came out in July and the Essence Award happened in March, so that wouldn't have worked. So I had to scrap that, but I really would have enjoyed seeing her in this Schiaparelli look. So instead, I would put her in this embroidered Spring 2023 Oscar de la Renta strapless dress. So there's actually two choices for this dress. One with embroidered butterflies and one with embroidered flowers. Her dress had flowers, so I was like, okay, why not just keep the spring theme going? So it's kind of a more youthful version of the dress that she was wearing, and it's still casual. She could probably wear these Oscar de la Renta dresses with like some white open-toed strappy heels, or maybe even keep on the pointed toe stilettos that she had on. But I think this is a decent alternative to what she was wearing. We are at the last look for Marsai Martin, and it is one of my last favorite look of 2023 for her. And she was at the Creed 3 movie premiere, and she was wearing this metallic John Bautista Valley Spring 2023 halter dress. I love how this dress either looks gold or silver depending on the lighting, and you guys might call me crazy, but the halter reminds me so much of boxing ring ropes. So I feel like they thought about it when they put her in this dress. Maybe I'm just crazy. But I do think this dress fits the movie that she was there for. And it's cute, it's nice. I like the hair. I think the only thing I question about this look are the heels, but at the same time, I can't think of what other heels would have gone well with this dress. But regardless, she looks amazing. But we are finally at the end of this video. This video was supposed to have Zendaya in it, but I decided to scrap her. So if you guys want a part 2, that part 2 will have Zendaya in it, and you can tell me which other celebrities you would want in that part 2 as well. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you liked an alternative or if you hated an alternative that I brought out, or if you have any brands or dresses that you think would have gone well instead of what a certain celebrity was wearing. Let me know if you actually disliked one of my favorite looks from some of these celebrities. And thank you if you did watch to the end. If you got to the end, comment a boxing glove emoji or a mermaid emoji. Either or is fine. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you had fun looking at these beautiful dresses on these beautiful, gorgeous, amazing, talented women. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!